Alrighty. Welcome to the what show is this? The Spincast Cycling Show.
Season 2, episode
Season
21.
whatever. Cut the music. Oh wait, there's no music. That's how we just get right into it. I love the videos for like, hey, I'm going to talk about this. It's like, just start talking about it. So I'm Brian Kellison, Brian White, Lisa Reese. Let's get into it. We had last weekend off, or last week's show off, because it was Father's Day in the United States. Brian White
Only
had
minute.
it was that.
It was Father's Day in Canada as well.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. But in Finland, I don't know if it was Father's Day, and we got a fan message, or I got a personal message from Felty Aku, one of the loyal listeners, loyal fan of the show. And he's like, "Are you guys taking the summer off?" And I'm like, "No, just Father's Day." But now we're on. I actually saw my father 2 days ago. I hadn't seen him since like October or something like that in San Diego. I went to San Diego, so I haven't been on the bike. I don't even know if I ride a bike anymore. I've been so busy with other things. But there have been so many things for at least 2 weeks that we can touch on. MyWhoosh updates, the reckless speculation by Brian White. We're going to catch up on that. We're also going to, as I say, let's just talk about stuff. But I actually send it to you in the Discord, the Zwift World Series that was emailed to me because I was a Zwift Games competitor. So I think you guys were looking at it on the sort of side conversation. Did you get it from Zwift Insider?
Okay, so
let's
what I was looking for...
Let's go into the Zwift stuff. Let's just go into the Zwift stuff. Let's do it.
What started this was we were talking about Wahoo announced the Kicker V6 is $300 off, so it's now $1,000. So that's a pretty big deal. I assume they're going to release the Kicker V7, or they're just feeling froggy in the middle of June. But
hold on a second, feeling froggy?
Yeah, like excited, like
is that a West Virginia thing?
Yeah, it's the meth heads and homeless.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's because I was talking to my wife actually yesterday. I was like, I really want to get this, but whatever. I said, but whatever, because we're saving for a car for my daughter, and she's going to turn 16 in the fall. So, and then today they dropped the price $300. I said, let's go ahead and do it, because
let's go ahead and do it. You mean I'm going to go ahead and do it?
Well, I just didn't do it. I did consult the financial guru.
We seem to have a technical difficulty. Everyone is saying that they can't hear you yet.
Me?
Can't hear me? Who?
Oh, everyone is saying that everyone is muted, except we might have to start over again. Except I don't see what the issue is, because we are all...
Hello.
They can only hear BK, everyone is saying, but I don't see...
Let's continue the show. Let's go. The show is perfect. The show is perfect.
Well, Brian, you just talk for a while I look at this.
You keep working at it. Okay, so Brian White was saying that he is excited about the Kicker V6, which is the 2022 version. It was a price drop. I got that email as well. So Wahoo sent a price drop. So it was $999 US. You were looking at it before that, because I know that you have always had the dilemma of you're on a Kicker V6, so or you're on a Kicker Core, or are you on
4?
You're on the Kicker 4, so you're not allowed to race in MyWhoosh events. Okay, so Brian's on a Kicker V4. He's on the that's an old trainer. It still works. It still does
2018.
So, but in a competitive verification standpoint, you can't race in the Sunday Race Club. You can race in casual stuff. I don't know if you would be able to race in the Echelon Racing League, this past Echelon Racing League. I think you could have raced in the national No, maybe not even the national championships. You could have. No.
We were looking at it. It seems like all Zwift. Well, MyWhoosh, you just Google, MyWhoosh rules, and boom, you get. You can find it. Zwift, very difficult to find it. Like the most current I could find was 2022. That's why we were asking about your Zwift games. And it seems like all of the trainers they allow now are 1%.
Yes, I remember 1%.
So like the kicker core and all these are not able. And I know that there's only a few. There's only a few, maybe 6 trainers MyWhoosh allow, and I don't know if Zwift is the same. Let's see. I don't know if I can find it real quick.
It's
Here. I just
probably
had it pulled up.
the top elite trainer,
Yeah,
which is the Justo, the kicker
But that's
move,
the only
the
elite.
kicker V6. So the regular kicker, the kicker move.
Yeah,
What would be another one? Saris,
and the Tax
3,
Neos.
and the Tax Neo, Saris with the most latest firmware. I would believe that would be it, right? It's kicker
Yeah.
or Saris version 3.
You see,
that was 1%.
MyWhoosh lists it out, and Zwift does not. That just says got to be 1% accurate. So that's what led us. Reese and I were talking about what was available to use and whatnot. And I'm excited because I did order one. So here shortly.
So you did order the discounted one.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
good. So you pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I did pull the trigger, and I'll be able to use virtual shifting because we don't know when that's coming from Wahoo, because that was rumored back in February, March to be released to V5 and V4. And so now that'll be kind of interesting because we can use, I could use it on Zwift. Now, fortunately, you're locked into Zwift, but still, my main.
Wait, what are you saying? You're locked into Zwift?
The virtual shifting, because for the Kicker V6 and the Zwift Plays.
Well, it's available because the software is only locked you in, but like the hardware,
yes.
IndieVelo has sort of gearing, which is kind of shifting, not whatever. And you get race mode, you get all the hardware features from Wahoo. It's just you don't get the, like you said, the virtual gearing or the virtual shifting. There's virtual gearing on IndieVelo as well. I don't know if it's on MyWhoosh. I don't think so.
It's only in. They said that they have kind of no plans for it.
And you would have to buy Zwift Plays to actually get those, or the click, or the little clicker thing. Okay, well that's good news. Yeah,
so I did order one, so I will be able to, and I will participate in the Sunday Race Club. I'm very curious about what category I'll fall in, because I watched the past 2 Sunday Race Clubs for the Cat 4. Those guys are, I mean.
Oh yeah,
The Cat 4, Cat 3 are all like it's kind of splitting very fine hairs there, and then Cat 2 is obviously a little bit better, and then Cat 1. Those guys are insane. Watching Barney.
I was Cat 2 when I was really fit, and then they redid whatever they had with the data. I moved to Cat 3, and then I didn't have to do a power passport. So they kind of don't ask you to do that as much anymore, which is nice.
Yeah, and that's what I've been just reading about it. Yeah, basically you do the power passport, do all their stuff, and then it's whatever magic they do behind the scenes, they will put you in a category depending on the course. So say it was a flat course, you got big power, they're going to put you in the higher cat is my guess. And then if it's a climbing course, they're going to drop you down because they know, say with your weight and your power.
Oh, they're changing it based on the course.
It could be week to week. You could be week, like I might, let's say I'm Cat 4 for the first 2 races, and then whatever they decide, I might be Cat 3 the next, then back to Cat 4. So it's a dynamic categorization.
Well, then I'll start doing it. I'll start doing it again, even though I got to wake up at 2 a.m. I'll do it just because if you're doing it, I want to do it because I want to get fit again. I want to get back into the groove. But I also wanted to try the new version of MyWhoosh. And if they're saying, hey, because I would do the climbing courses and I would just get dropped and then just have to suffer for the next 40 kilometers.
It's somewhere, I think it's in their rule set. I read all the stuff today at work. It says your category is not locked in. Like you may be Cat 2.
Oh, it'll fluctuate.
Or Cat 3.
Based on
fluctuate.
Okay, well that's good. That's at least growing in a sense that they're gathering data and changing it on the fly.
And for let's say Zavaris, never been on MyWhoosh, hops on, wants to do Sunday Race Club. He has to do, I've seen 2 events or I've seen 5 at category 1 till they get enough race data. Now I'm hoping, like for me, I've done several events and several races, so they can just pop me in at whatever, you know what I mean? Cat 4, Cat 3. So we'll see. So it'll be an interesting process to go through it. with the new rule set.
And
'Cause
your
it
data
was,
and your accuracy will be different. So you might be,
yeah,
well, you're going to be more accurate than the 2%,
yeah,
2+% different accuracy. So you're going to be more accurate, and that might slot you into, a different category.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And the
Okay.
biggest thing that I'm blown away with MyWhoosh is I've been riding MyWhoosh, and that power delay that like Scott, Barney, and I said this last Spincast, Casey, you're right, that I didn't see Barney on his stream when it was Sunday Race Club. I didn't notice it. But I think my error was the portions I was watching Barney, he was solo. So at the beginning of the stream, it's certainly in it. And then I watched him again yesterday or this morning. And yeah, so I
now,
don't
what are you
understand
watching? Hold on a second. What are you watching for?
Barney's stream, the delay in his power. Like if he gets to a bump in the road, there's a 3-second delay, just like Casey in that power from the time he.
And you're going this based on his pedal stroke or what he's saying or
Both.
what his act. Because
Like
you're not seeing another computer. You're not seeing like his Garmin. You're not seeing anything else.
No.
You're just showing,
But, like,
he has a
you hit
camera on
the-
his legs.
Well, I mean, like you hit the 3%, 4% ramp, and his power doesn't react until he's 3 seconds up that. And then it's like the delay from what he is riding on to the resistance is 3 seconds off. Whereas I've rode several courses with small bumps like that, and mine, as soon as what I see is what I feel. Now there's
In
with
resistance.
the resistance, right? And that's why everyone has problems with draft. I have no idea why I'm not experiencing it. It's the most bizarre thing ever.
Maybe
and
you
it
are
has,
just better at the game.
that's a possibility.
No, I'm
but
serious. That's a serious statement. I'm not joking.
it's if like on the Amazonia course or in Colombia or I think it's like Paramata or something, some small 3-kilometer course in Australia. It's got a real steep kicker and then drops off. I have a video of in March where I get to the top of the thing and I'm going downhill and I'm still holding the watts coming up the hill. And then it releases. That's like 3-4 seconds. Well, now, as soon as I get to the top, my power is dropping off. The Amazonia course, same thing. There's all kind of these little kickers. It's to go up and down, up and down. And as soon as I get to the top, my power, the feeling drops off. And like I did not like MyWhoosh, and I've been.
You didn't like it when that
was
was the issue, but now that you've
When
been
the power
riding it
delay.
and you're not having this
Yeah.
issue.
If like I totally get it. If the draft was different and I learned the draft, but it's the actual feeling of what I see and what I feel is the same, and there is no delay. Now the delay that gets to the power reading, there is like a second delay there, maybe 2 seconds. It is a small between the actual reading on the game.
Okay,
But
so
from
you're
what I
saying there's
see-
two things. Yeah, because I still notice that the
Yeah.
pairing screen is accurate for direct connect. Like it is
Yeah.
like spot on. You go fat, you go hard, it shows instantly almost, right?
Yeah.
On 10 hertz or whatever. Then you get into the game and it's delayed. But you're
Yeah,
saying the
so-
delay on that is still there, but the delay on the resistance of the gradients and other things is not present for you. At least you don't relate. You don't feel it.
Yeah. And I've been riding with 100% training resistance, like really trying to lock that, you know what I mean? Get this feel. And I don't know, unless I'm just completely insane, but
We need more science.
I'll
Especially
be
when you get the new
riding.
trainer.
Yeah. I'll be riding with people. And I did a race with a guy the other day. He was able to draft right behind me. Like there was no that yo-yo effect. And then I've been in other races because every time I get on MyWhoosh, I try to do at least one race to hoping to have a human there to kind of play with. There'll be races to where it's yo-yo. Like he cannot follow me. Like if he's trying to draft me. And then there'll be races like I did yesterday or 2 days ago, or whatever it was, where the guy just drafts me. It's really,
Are you
it's really
holding
bizarre.
custom power? And are you trying to draft them?
Yes, I
And
do draft.
you
them.
have yo-yo or you don't. You're really good and you
No.
don't have yo-yo. They yo-yo. You see them yo-yoing.
Yeah,
So is that more technique versus issue with equipment?
I don't know. It's possible. Like, it's one of those things. It's very bizarre. Like, why do I have a different experience than Casey and Scott? And I don't know. It's interesting. It's
Well,
interesting.
I'll start using it again. Are
Have
you
you
back?
been doing your testing, not double dipping?
Yeah, all right.
I did do 2 rides, not double dipping.
That's a
I
good
did.
question from the audience, even though it's probably not
Yes.
from the audience.
Yeah. Well, I had someone that come in from a raid on dock and say, they said something about Zwift or whatever, and I pulled up. We were going through the jerseys on Zwift, and he was blown away. He's like, "How can you have 2 platforms going?" So, he didn't realize.
Well, you can have
the
as many
double
as you
dipper.
want if you have enough
Yeah.
connections, but it might skew your science. So
But yeah,
Has
I did do.
Has anyone had their
because
Zwift data imported into MyWhoosh yet? I submitted all of my Zwift data, but I have yet to actually get a message.
That was that sort of like, hey, send all your stuff to us and we'll put it in.
I sent them all my stuff. I sent them my Zwift information and I screenshotted my Zwift level and kilometers ridden. And I got a notification back from MyWhoosh saying, thank you for submitting all of your information. And that was about a week ago. And then they did say, you should get a notification once they are finished processing, but it'll be interesting to see because I'm like level 2 in MyWhoosh, and it pretty much states on their website that you're gonna get credit for all the Zwift stuff that you've done.
Good.
Yeah, I saw someone post where they went from level 20 to level 71 on MyWhoosh. Yeah.
Now, do you just get the level, or do you get all the stuff?
The coins and everything else.
Everything?
Yeah.
Well, because that's a big thing. When someone plays a video game, you spend a lot of time and effort leveling. And I mean, most video games, you don't get to switch. So MyWhoosh could potentially pull a lot of people that are diehard Zwifters just because they're going to be like, oh, I'm level 80 in Zwift. I'm level 80 in MyWhoosh, and I didn't have to ride at all. Maybe I'm going to ride now.
Too, I can't remember who said it where, but it was in a stream or in the Discord. But it's also kind of smart for MyWhoosh because all of the data from people are, if they transfer it over, they're going to get all the data. So just the learning.
You're giving them all the fit files from Zwift?
No, what ends up happening is I tried to do that because they give you a Garmin Connect option as well. And I downloaded like my entire history of Garmin Connect, and it errored out with the 7,000 fit files. And then so I did the Zwift way, and then what it basically asks you for is how many hours you've ridden, how many kilometers you've ridden, what your elevation is, and then it asks you for a file backup, like to prove it, which I submitted a screenshot of my Zwift profile showing it. So we'll see.
I thought they looked at the actual files from Zwift.
Well, they might, but
can you even download that? Can you bulk download that?
Well, you can go into Garmin Connect and pretty much download your entire history.
From Zwift?
I don't think you can bulk download. I don't know.
I've never tried. I don't know.
I think illegally you have to give that option to people, at least in the United States.
That's a very large bulk download.
GDPR. I remember when I was like, I paid for the features for MyFitnessPal because I logged my food for like 4 years on MyFitnessPal. And I was like, I want to download all this.
Is this?
This is I just download, and they give you a CSV file, but they have to give you that option. I think that's part of like
every time I tried to upload an actual real file to MyWhoosh, it would give me an error.
Yeah.
Oh, like upload your fit file or something.
Well, because it asks you for the information, so you put in your actual information, like say hours ridden, or actually it's days ridden. It goes like days, hours, minutes. How many kilometers, how much elevation, and then it asks for a file backup. And every time I tried to add an actual real file other than a screenshot, it would just be like, can't process this.
Yeah, I thought that they were like collecting data because I didn't do it. I was like, I'm going to do it like the old school way, just ride and see what I earn.
Yeah, I think the way that Lee is doing it has to be sort of the stopgap right now because like There's no way you're going to be able to. You'd have to pull everything down like you did with Garmin, zip up all the fit files, and then send it to MyWhoosh.
Yeah,
And
that
that's
makes
just
sense.
so much
Well, and the
data.
amount of
That's just so
processing
much data,
power
yeah.
for someone to download, say, like 3,000 fit files that they
Yeah.
would now
That'd
have
take,
to
like,
go
yeah,
in.
that'd take a
It
long
would
time.
take, well, like I say, it's been over a week, and they haven't even processed my, handwritten information.
Yeah, I couldn't
Right.
even imagine how many requests they're getting now.
Yeah,
Well,
they
and
can't
that's
just
the other
pull
thing.
that. Yeah, they can't
They
pull that.
probably
thing.
got, as soon as they announced it, there was probably thousands of people trying to do this.
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's
here's another little tip if you are new to MyWhoosh, and you want to collect the badges because you get points or coins for every route badge you do, you only get credit in free ride. Races and workouts, you do not get credit for them. So if you're going to do a workout, do it do it on a route you've already completed. Or if you don't care, then it don't matter. But that's just a little tip I picked up over the past week.
a good
And
tip.
that's confirmed. That's confirmed by MyWhoosh admin on Facebook, their cycling group. So it's not just.
Well, so why do you think they would do that?
I
To
don't
force
know.
people to free ride more?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. He didn't say. They just said, yeah, right now you have to free ride, or yeah, you have to free ride. to
Okay,
get
it's
the
not like they're
credit.
like, hey, specifically doing this is probably just a limitation in
Yeah,
their.
it might just be something they didn't even think about.
Yeah, because let's say you like me, I get route badges all the time for McCurry Islands because I would never do that thing on Zwift. And
Yeah,
I'll do like a random race that has chosen that course, and then I'll get the route badge afterwards. That's
Yeah,
where it's
so-
like I'm not free riding the course. I'm only doing it in the Zwift or the event. Why wouldn't MyWhoosh put that in there? So like if you do like a regular Fondo in real life and you've never ridden the course, but you're like, oh, I ride the course in a Fondo, then you should get it, right?
yeah, you would think, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, MyWhoosh, I'm really curious to see how this goes with this power delay because it's weird. I don't experience it. So I don't know, because if it gets this power delay and something else too that's popped up, and there's similar people in the Discord that I've seen say this as well. The past 3 races I've done, they're like you sit in the pen 10 seconds pedaling, waiting to start, and then 10 seconds, boom, off you go. So that's a bug within the game right now. And that, I don't know if it just was a bug within the new update. I don't remember it the first couple races I did, but the last 3 I've done, there's definitely you sat in the pen waiting to go. And I thought I got dropped or the game crashed. And then all of a sudden I took off. And it doesn't fast forward you 10 seconds. It just, you start 10 seconds late. So I don't know what that is.
And everyone else rides away.
No.
Everyone waits 10 seconds.
Yeah. It's like a 10-second buffer or something. It's kind of weird.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not the only one experiencing it. There's several people in the Discord. It's like, yeah, I noticed that too. So
What about bots and stuff that are in a race?
I did a ride that there had to be bots in it because at the finish results, the other person that was a human, that I would think was a human, he dropped out, and I was the only one that finished. And all the bots stayed in the pen as well because they were riding about the same pace, around 2.8 watts per kilogram. They did bounce around a little bit. They were kind of almost like smart bots, like IndieVelo in a way, but they definitely weren't. They stayed within 3.2 down to 2.6, but mainly around 2.8. And then in the results, I was the only human or only person listed.
Okay.
So
Are
Yeah, it was
MyWhoosh
weird.
bots smarter than Zwift bots?
I would say, yeah.
Wait, mine's
because
Zwift bots.
the pace partners.
Well, and just
Oh,
with
they don't have any
Zwift list-
AI.
No, there's no AI at all.
The pace partners, they like on a grade, they increase a couple watts per 0.3 watts per kilogram. And on a decline, they decrease their watts. But like the MyWhoosh bots seem to just they're cruising and they're just going to pick up the pace and settle back. They almost have like a range
Zwift
around.
doesn't have bots. Zwift doesn't have bots. That's fake.
Well, we need to come up with a new name with them because Zwift called them bots, but they're like pacer bots and they just ride at one speed. They're not smart. We need to have like a name for like IndieVelo bots, which are like more AI-ish, and they do
Just take
Terminator.
the RGT naming. Pacer bot and a racer bot. IndieVelo has racer bots, and then there's pace bots.
It's like the Terminator because the IndieVelo bots.
Yeah, if pace stays at a certain pace, it's locked in a certain pace, and there was racer bots. I remember when they introduced race bots, and it was like totally changed the thing for me. I
Yeah.
was like, this is awesome. And then there's ones that then I would get in group rides with like 3 pacer bots, and they would just drag us around, and then I would mess around with the racer bots because I'll attack and they'll come follow my wheel, and then we would fall back and do it. Was cool. But well, let's move on to the next one. The Zwift bike. What's it called? Zwift
Ride.
Ride. The Zwift Ride was announced. I don't know if it's released yet, but was announced. And that was 2 weeks. That was I think 2 weeks ago. So it was like
The
prime
12th.
when we had something to talk about, but we didn't talk about it. And we haven't talked about it, right?
We have not.
Right.
We're talking about it now. After looking at it more and more, it is interesting for me. I don't like that it doesn't have actual shifting, like shifting, but it has the virtual shifting and the buttons, and everyone's like, oh, the feel of the things, like the Shane Millers and the Ray Makers and the Des Fits, and they're like, oh, the position for all the buttons for the Zwift Ride is so much better than the Zwift Play. At least that's what I picked up, and I'm like,
it's like real hoods.
Yeah, it's where I put
actual
mine.
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone gave me crap. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people were like, oh, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. And like, I was like, this is where they should be. They should have figured out how to do that, but they didn't. I figured out how to do it because I put Velcro so that I could shift while I had those there. But that's what I would like. I would like real bars where I could put on and shift normally, because there's a chain. But I guess
it's just a one by style.
Yeah, but why
chain.
couldn't we have like electronic shifting? Because we don't want to wear the chain out and shift it.
Well, I think the bigger scheme Zwift is going for is Aunt Bev in the Peloton style. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I can buy this all integrated. It's cheaper than a Peloton.
Right.
The subscription is cheaper than a Peloton.
Okay.
And I think,
and you have somebody from Peloton, or not some from Peloton, someone who knows Peloton. Hey,
yes.
Lee, can you bring up a photo? Can we do a side by side of the Zwift bike and the Peloton, what they look like?
Yeah, well, they look nothing like each other.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I want to look at them, and then I want to break that down if we can.
Yeah. So while Zavris is looking that up, this Zwift, Ride is essentially the Tron concept indoor bike that Zwift wanted to do, except for they lopped off. Basically, just made the frame hooked to a Wahoo core. That's essentially what it is, because it's the concept photo is almost the same, except for having the trainer built in. You snap it onto a direct drive trainer now. So it's kind of like the evolution of, hey, this didn't work out, so now this is the alternative. And if Zavris and I were talking, kind of like guessing on the price, we're guessing $650 to $700 for the frame, because the Wahoo core is $500 without the $150 Zwift subscription added in. And if they're selling that for, what was it, $1,300? So it just depends on some pricing and whatnot. But if they sell just the
frame,
I might be interested. You know what I mean? Because
I think it's a good audible. Like they like, hey, we are not going to do the full thing. We're not going to do the wheel. Let's just do this. That's what they probably should have gone with. And I'm glad that they changed. They're like, hey, let's not do the full thing and do our Peloton bike that's just for Zwift.
Yeah.
Let's do something that could potentially open us up for more stuff, but it's still kind of locked in the shifting sort of thing. Like you can't. So
you're locked into Zwift.
Yeah, you're locked into Zwift, just like you're locked into Peloton, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the Peloton bike, but you can kind of hack it and maybe use it as like a regular X spin bike.
Yeah.
Right. All right. There's that thing, and he's going to get the other one. So Peloton, can you still use it as a spin bike?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
Because there's 2 spin bikes. I was talking to Sydney. She has the one where you adjust like your little pedal, or not pedal, the wheel. There's a gradient thing. You just turn it, it increases the resistance. And there's also like basically a Peloton bike. I forget what she called it, but it controls the resistance itself. So they have 2 models. Essentially, they have one where you control the resistance, like with the little knob right there on the top tube. And then they have one that would be like a trainer in a way where it controls the resistance. And within the Peloton world, she does all the spin, what we think of Peloton, the instructor, telling you, go harder or whatever. And then there's a complete separate world. It's like split fence. The power zone, what she calls power zone, which is what our world of, do training zones.
Mm-hmm.
They have Christian Vanderbilt and several other cyclists, actual like pro or semi-pro cyclists that do the classes. And then the spin class. It's a total two different things within it. And I looked through a lot of the stuff, and it's like, I'm not going to say, from what I could tell, they were not set up into plans, but they had everything from, VO2 rides to 2-hour endurance zone tune rides. So like, it just depends on what you want out of it, I guess, per se. But like, say if, Aunt Bev is, I want to do something, and my grandson or whoever does Zwift, I'll give it a shot. This is $1,200, and the subscription is $20 compared to $40 or whatever for Peloton. And then the
Yeah,
bike
but the
is
only
more.
difference between, so like you bring up Aunt Bev, and so the reason why I wanted to talk Peloton is my mother, who is older, which is, let's just call her Aunt Bev or Aunt Babs, as my mom hates that name, Barbara, right? It's harder to get on this bike, even though it looks cooler. Like the Zwift bike looks easier for people to or there's the Peloton. So put up the Peloton bike for us if you can.
It's like the cruiser swing through.
Yeah, you can put your leg over. My mom's getting knee surgery, so she has bone on bone like you, buddy. So, but she's 76 years old, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna ride this bike, and she has like an elliptical bike or something that she has, and she's gonna watch TVs. But I'm thinking like, hey, if you wanted to do that, it looks easier, the Zwift bike thing, but this is like built, like it shows up and you can just go use it. And yes, it's in Peloton. It has a screen. It has all this other stuff, where this costs what, 2 times as much? How much is a Peloton bike? Like $3,000?
They did just drop the price. I want to say.
So yeah, we'll find the price, but I'm thinking like, look, there's no chain that you have to worry about. There's no trainer you have to worry about. There's a spin bike where you can spin and watch your movies and stuff like that. But does the virtual gearing on the Zwift bike work when you don't have Zwift on? Like, how do you just use the Wahoo? You use the Wahoo trainer on the Wahoo app, right? That's how you get resistance. If you're not running Zwift, can you use the Zwift bike without using Zwift? Yeah, theoretically, right?
Yeah.
But it's not in a full ecosystem. So you get Aunt Bev to kind of like, oh, I can dial this in. It's not as easy. And so it seems more enthusiast to me. Zwift bike seems more enthusiast than entry level.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I like it. No, I'm not saying I don't like those Zwift bike. I'm just saying that like it's not as like entry level as we think it would be. And I don't think Zwift has maybe thought of that, to go, hey, how entry level can we get, yet get people interested in our ecosystem? This is more of like, hey, this is a simple thing for cyclists to get into it, not somebody who's not a cyclist and not somebody who is, advanced enough to like pull a trainer back, the cog off and get their thing and get the trainer hooked up.
Yeah.
Right? Am I wrong on that, or am I kind of good on that?
No, what you're saying makes sense.
I haven't stocked yet. I was just going to say the bike we are looking at, the Peloton here with the manual adjustment, is the same price as the Zwift Ride.
No way.
Yeah, they did just drop it. It's like $100 more.
This is $1,900.
I'd get this I would get this, or I'd tell my mom to get this Peloton, all full ecosystem, than I would a Zwift Ride, even though I think the Zwift Ride is more my type of thing.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. Like when my mom wanted to buy a tablet, I'm like, buy an iPad because it's super easy.
Yeah. An app, yeah.
But the Ride is, Zwift keeps stating that they are going to open the shifting protocol. The moment they do that, the Zwift Ride, I would buy it in a second.
Right.
If it would work in IndieVelo, MyWhoosh, everything. Like, it is a decent deal. Like it's in Canada, it's
Okay,
$19.99
so
with the trainer. The trainer is $1,000.
okay,
And
what
if
would
you already have like a Wahoo Kicker 5 or 6 or whatever, if you could just buy the frame for like
Yeah.
$1,000, even $1,200, it's adjustable. It's easier to adjust. Like I would buy that all day long, but as long as it's locked into Zwift, then it's not really appealing.
right?
But you still have a trainer that works with everything. So really, it would still work with MyWhoosh. She just couldn't shift gears.
Yeah, and then then I would just use my regular bike because I can shift my gears already. So why would you want to ride on MyWhoosh without shifting?
Well, yeah, if you had that, that's what
I
would
want
end
to
up
race.
happening.
I want to compete. I think the bike is good, but I'm saying I'm with you. If they opened it up, that'd be great. But what would be the reason? The reason why they're not opening it up is they want you to still continue to pay for Zwift. So you buy the bike or the Zwift Ride. What would keep you, Lee? What would keep you riding on Zwift if you bought the Zwift Ride? Besides, if they opened it up, what would keep you on Zwift? Well, I would make you go back to Zwift and not ride IndieVelo and
Well,
other
if they
things.
opened it up, then I wouldn't really ride on Zwift.
There you go.
But
That's the reason why.
it's locked in, yeah. Which it's still a good deal though. It's
No,
still a
no.
good deal, even
I-
if it's locked in. Like it's like I misunderstood when all these first reviews came out because I thought they were talking that it was like $19.99 and you had to buy a kicker core. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like $3,000. This isn't a good deal. But then when they're like, no, $19.99 is including the kicker core. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good deal. Like, it's like, even if you were locked into Zwift, that is a good deal. It looks nice. Think it looks good.
Wait, how much is the Zwift bike again?
The Zwift,
Zwift,
$19.99
Zwift Ride.
Canadian. It's like
It's
$12.99 US all in. $12.99.
You guys spend 2,000 Canadian?
Yeah, our money is not worth anything. It's
It's
monopoly
like
money. It's Canadian
75
Tire
cents of
money.
ours or something.
Because
Yeah.
I was like I was like, what?
Oh,
That doesn't sound. I mean, you're saying it's $12.99 for the
It's
Zwift bike in
$12.99
the US?
US with the trainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Peloton is $12.99 US?
The manual adjustment Peloton is $12.99. There is no automatic anything. You have to like crank the dial.
Okay.
To
What is the automatic one?
$3,000.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
2,500 US.
Yeah, it's like 3,000 Canadian, 2,500 US.
And it's only in Zwift, or it's only in Peloton.
But
Yeah.
apparently, the highest end Peloton reports proper power. So apparently, you can use the very high end Peloton bikes in other training apps because it reports correct power information.
Yeah.
But why would you go and buy a $3,000 Peloton bike if you had any intention of riding in Zwift? You may as well go buy like a Kicker Shift, which is way better than the Peloton bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kicker. Their top end Peloton is basically like a kicker bike or whatever. It has auto resistance control and everything to it. But yeah, like you said, if you're going to buy that Peloton bike, why go elsewhere?
I think why you would switch is say if you were already in the Peloton ecosystem, you got fed up paying Peloton subscription prices, and you thought, well, I have this bike. What are my other options? Well, and if you have the high-end bike, you can do Zwift or IndieVelo or all that. But you'd have to do virtual shifting. Yeah, because Peloton gives you 50 extra bonus watts on the.
Huh.
But does the high end Peloton work with resistance with the smart part?
That is a good
on
question.
Zwift?
I think DC Rainmaker did a test like on the highest end one.
Yeah, like let's say you can't use their proprietary monitor that's on the Peloton, but you run a secondary monitor on top. You just like put an iPad where the Peloton monitor is that's running Zwift. Could you connect it to Zwift?
I think if you're already buying a $3,000 Peloton bike, money is probably not as much of an option,
Yeah, but
or
let's
as much
say-
as a concern. So you're
Let's say
probably
you
like,
don't- yeah, but let's say you had this thing and you didn't like the Peloton service, but you already have it, and you're like, I don't want to use the Peloton service, but I have the hardware. That's why I asked you about, you would buy the Zwift bike, but you wouldn't pay for the service. right?
Well,
You would just continue. You would use the Zwift bike for other things and not pay for Zwift, and that's a flat fee.
Yeah,
But
because technically, because if you can put the Zwift frame on any kicker trainer or the core, I can still run workouts through the core with ERG mode.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's funny? 90% of my Zwift riding anyways is in ERG workout mode because I'm usually doing third-party workouts, running them separately. So the Zwift bike would totally work, even with the shifting didn't work. I could ride in IndieVelo, or actually with IndieVelo already has virtual shifting. I could buy a little 2-button keyboard thing to mount on the Zwift Ride, and I could shift in IndieVelo. So it technically is semi-compatible with IndieVelo.
Well, and something too that
I'm just thinking. Sorry, go ahead.
With this, you know, Brad Big Trouser said, if they sell just a frame, or he might just buy it and then mount it with his V6. If they do just sell the frame, that front little, front fork that mounts and sits on the ground, that removes. So Kellis and you that have the Move, I'm assuming in the future there'll be a little attachment you could buy, just stick in the front of that.
Rocker you could probably get, because they made a rocker for the kicker climb, but this doesn't move. This is like rock. This is like a straight piece, I think.
Correct. On the bottom of that, on the Shane Miller video, it basically is a plastic sleeve that pulls out. So I'm assuming in the future there'll be an insert with a little wheel on that, so your kicker move will slide back and forth.
Wait, you mean that plastic? There's no metal underneath that plastic?
It's like a hard polycarbonate piece. I forget exactly what he said. It's kind of like a soft rubber, but it's just a plastic sleeve that slides up into the front of that.
You can slip an adapter on there.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like within the first, I don't know, minute or two, I think, of that video. It's not too far in, but it just slides right out. So I assume in the future the kicker move will be able to, they'll have some sort of wheel that can slide on there, or people will engineer their own thing and slap in there. Yeah,
right there it is.
Yeah. So yeah, that just pulls out nice. Yeah.
So they're totally going to make a roller for this, 100%, because that piece just pulls out. You pop in a new piece.
You just put a rocker foot. So if you look at the kicker climb,
or you put like a rollerblade wheel.
No, you don't need a wheel. What are you talking about?
Well, you want the move. You want to like rock.
You don't want to. You're not going forward. You're going like the kicker climb. Go look at the kicker climb boot.
Or actually the kicker climb attachment.
Kicker climb attachment.
I'm sure they're probably going to make.
I like the kicker. I like my kicker climb.
Wait a second here. Your kicker move works with the climb?
Yeah.
How the hell does that work?
From the gun. They're from the start.
Oh, so you're talking about like a rolling... How does the
back and forth movement work with the...
They made a little $50 little adapter.
I got to go
when it came out. Go search for it. Kicker climb boot thing. What you need to know before the Tour de France. Hey, everybody, play the music. We're waiting for Lee to find the thing we're looking. Who's searching? Who's sharing their screen?
Oh, apparently they already made a shoe for the climb.
Yeah, it was day one. Day one, buddy.
This is actually the other problem with...
Show it on screen. You're just still showing the video. I know you're looking at stuff.
I have to find it. Like, you can't find any Zwift information. Everything about Zwift is from a third party.
Zwift. Wahoo, kicker climb,
Zwift Ride
boot. No, not Zwift Ride. No. You got to go look at the kicker climb boot, not Zwift. It's Wahoo.
I'm talking about the Zwift Ride.
Yeah, that doesn't exist yet. But when they do,
I posted a link in Discord for Shane Miller's video.
Don't even to Shane Miller. Just go to the web. Wahoo. Oh my goodness.
You go.
I want to see it in action.
Fired.
I want to see it in action.
Fired.
Everyone else is probably like, these guys are idiots because. Yeah, no, I had no idea that existed because in my idea, the kicker climb.
Get out of here. Let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. You see mine? There. This boot goes on the thing, the Kicker Climb base adapter. This is for the Kicker Move. Do you see it? For
No,
everyone
okay.
that's listening to the podcast, is totally tuned out, come on back. I'm showing a little rubber boot that costs $50, and that goes over your Kicker Climb, so it works perfectly with your Kicker Move. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. There you go.
I am.
Kicker Climb base adapter. There you go. Welcome to searching for Zwift stuff that doesn't exist in Zwift. It's just Kicker Climb.
I
There.
want to see it in action. That's what I was.
So if they made an adapter for the Kicker Move, which is going to be tough because you need a fork to the Kicker Move, but if you do a base adapter, then you can do the Kicker Move and not get Kicker Climb, but your Zwift bike should rock back and forth because the back of it's moving. And then you have the roller thing like on the bottom of the bottom bracket on the Zwift Ride. You put the thing that's the thing that protects the bottom bracket on the Zwift Ride. You put that on the front little foot. You put a foot that has like a round part. And then when you rock on the Kicker Move, the front part of the bike will move with it.
Yeah,
like
$84.
No, it's not going to be that. It's going to be more than that because it has to have what replicates the fork movement. So the Kicker Climb stays. If everyone's kind of paying attention here, the Kicker Climb is sort of stationary. The rocking moves, but there's a through axle that hooks to a fork. There isn't that on the Zwift Ride. There isn't a through axle. There isn't something. It's essentially straight stuck into the floor. So when the Kicker Move goes, it needs to rock forward and backward. But if it's not enough give, if there's not enough like movement for the Kicker Climb to move, man, I have an old video of me moving on with the Kicker.
Oh no,
Climb
we've
moving.
seen that. But I'm just saying, like with the Zwift Ride, the way that bottom foot actually pulls out, and it's about 4 inches deep. Guaranteed, they're going to be making a climb adapter, like a climb/move adapter.
Yeah, and you're saying put a wheel on it. I don't know if they need to put a wheel, but I think they could just do
if
this.
it just needs to rock.
I don't know if right. That's what I'm saying. Like the adapter is not going to be as advanced, but if you guys said a Kicker Climb that would fit into that would be cool.
So they're going to have like a Kicker Climb adapter, just a plain Kicker Move adapter, because the Move because the Climb needs to rock like this. But I think if you just had just the Move on it, you would probably want more of a.
Well, you could use the Kicker Move because there's a lockout mechanism. So you could use the Zwift Ride with the Kicker Move right now, but it won't move until you come out with the adapter for the front fork. So when it's available, I can buy it. A
whole bunch of accessories that they're going to sell with this thing.
Fine, make it work. I'll buy it if it makes it work. But if it's like, oh no, it's limited, and hey, yeah, whatever. But I like to have I don't mind. I don't like the Zwift Play buttons for shifting. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they're big enough. I like hopefully on the Zwift Ride, the button's bigger for shifting. Because the little shifter button next to the braking/steering is too small. And it's not as like it should be. Like you're shifting more than you're steering in Zwift. And they made the button smaller than the steering part.
You know what I'm looking forward to? Why can't? Well, I guess it's the whole Zwift ecosystem, but why didn't Zwift just use like an Ant Plus protocol for shifting, and then you could use like your SRAM Force?
Wired is better. Because they have the magnets to kind of tether that cable that connects to whatever it connects to.
Yeah, because my SRAM Force shifters can tell my Garmin what gear it's in. Why can't my SRAM shifters tell Zwift what gear I'm in?
That
would be the next level.
That's probably a SRAM thing.
No, that's a Zwift thing. Zwift doesn't want that to happen. Oh, for sure. For sure. Same thing with the new Actually, Shimano shifters are the same thing. Shimano shifters will tell your Garmin head unit or your Wahoo head unit what gear you're in. So if you have virtual shifting, that would be the next level.
Are you sure it's just an open proprietary thing, or do you think Garmin pays for that information to have that call, that information? Or do you think that's an open source protocol?
It's semi-proprietary because Shimano actually stopped reporting to Hammerhead Karoo head units.
Yeah, so it is a cost thing. That's why I think Zwift doesn't want to pay for it.
I think it was a competition thing because Hammerhead is owned by SRAM. So Shimano was like, we don't want our information going to your damn SRAM head units.
There you go. That's the thing. So open source is probably the better option, but when you have that competition, you don't want to do that.
It's more of a thing for me if they're saying that we all know Zwift and their software. It's probably not something that could be implemented easily by Zwift.
Yeah, well, that's the Garmin. Garmin doesn't push to anywhere else. They're a receptacle. They just suck in data. They'll take your Zwift ride. They'll take your IndieVelo ride. Or I don't know if they take IndieVelo rides, but they'll take everything. But they won't push it anywhere. They won't push it anywhere. You're like, I just want this to go this, and it's nope.
Yeah, they won't work with MyWhoosh either. Garmin.
Yeah. I had to use I used Fitness Syncer to send Garmin weight and sleep data to Training Peaks. Like, it's just not an automatic thing. Like, Training Peaks doesn't just grab it automatically.
Well, I think the main reason for that is Garmin Connect is a free service because you bought a Garmin device. Yeah. And so Garmin's like, yeah, we'll take all your Garmin information and, they'll take Zwift information, but we're not going to take third-party information and send it elsewhere. Like, we're the end. This is where it stops. It comes to us. Done.
Yeah, but if I do a Garmin ride and it takes my Garmin ride, it pushes it to Training Peaks.
Yes, Garmin will send Garmin data, but Garmin won't. Garmin will accept Zwift data, but won't send Zwift data elsewhere.
I have a Garmin watch that tracks my sleep, and I have a Garmin Smart Scale. It doesn't push that data to Training Peaks.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I had to use a little handoff carrier thing. It'll pull that health data through. I use I think it's still around, Fitness Syncer, but that's the one thing where it's like it pushes just the ride data. It doesn't push the health data. So you have to use somebody else to pull that.
I'm looking for it right now.
We're getting in the weeds now. But would you buy one?
I don't even know.
Zwift Ride.
100%.
100%.
100%. Okay, if they open up the shifting protocol, I would buy one.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Just buy it first day one. If they sold it without the trainer.
That's not wear and tear on my normal bike, depending on the price. If it was around $1,000 Canadian, I would probably seriously consider it because I do have other family members who are interested in riding Zwift. And if I could have a bike for a reasonable price that was easily adjustable for other family members, I would totally go that route.
Ryan?
I would probably not right now. As of right now, with it being locked into Zwift only, that holds me back from buying the Zwift Ride.
Agreed. Very interesting, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I am highly intrigued of if I could get the frame only and it was available for all platforms, because
it is available for all platforms.
Well,
you just can't shift.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a small.
It works with everything
nice.
Except for the shifting part.
It's technically more compatible with IndieVelo because you can rig up virtual shifting in IndieVelo to work with a couple keyboard buttons.
Yeah.
It's entirely single speed in MyWhoosh. But if all you do is ERG workouts, it's compatible with every platform
Yeah,
because you don't
can use
need to
your phone.
shift.
You can use your mobile phone for your.
Or even in the game itself, like once you go into ERG mode, you're just in a single speed. So it still would actually be 100% compatible with IndieVelo and MyWhoosh in ERG mode.
Yeah, but then why would you be paying for Zwift if you're just using
No,
ERG
you wouldn't
mode
be paying for Zwift. You buy the Zwift Ride and you just do ERG workouts
in other apps?
in other platforms.
Great. Yeah. I think it's a good design. I wonder if this was after the folding of the whatever bike was before. But I like this design more, even though it's not as flashy and it doesn't look like the concept Zwift Concept 1 or whatever it is, Z1 concept.
The Tron
But
bike.
everyone calls it the Tron bike, but yeah, the official name. I think I like the way it looks. You know, looks like a Canyon. Looks like looks like Matthew Vanderpool's bike, the one he always rides. That's probably where they just went with it. You know, you don't need to worry about a front wheel. You don't need to worry about, you just hook it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Because it's very basic, really, when it comes down to it. It's just a steel frame with play shifters on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Play bars, really. Because those are integrated in the bars, right? Those
Maybe
are not
you can
like
just buy just the bar or just the shifters themselves and replace your plays with version 2.
Yeah, but you can
Yeah.
already,
See, that's the thing though. They're going to sell them for $200 and then the entire bike is $1,000.
but they're a different version than the Zwift plays. They're like longer. They have more buttons. They're probably more sturdy. I don't know. You probably don't need. Do you need to charge them? I don't think they're wireless. Aren't they? They're connected, or are they wireless?
You gotta charge them. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the plays. You just gotta charge them.
Then why is the cable needed? The cable is to charge them.
Yeah.
And how does it work with a Apple TV? Is it just Bluetooth? You're muted again, buddy.
Right. The cable was shown in that patent picture, but not a single reviewer has talked about the cables. And GP Llama has actually replaced his handlebar with his own handlebar on the Zwift Ride. And not once did I see cables. I think it was just listed in the patent information for speculation of, maybe we need cables in the future.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that
I thought it was
video.
for charging, but apparently not.
Yeah, GP Llama does a complete teardown where he basically takes the whole bike apart and he changes the handlebars to his own handlebars.
So there's no wires running through the bars.
I don't think so. I'm going to rewatch this video. And
all right, I'll watch the video afterwards.
You've got me questioning it now.
Good. That's the goal of this. Oh, here we go. Searching live. Oh, hey, everybody, play the music. Da-na-na-na-na. He's searching for the video that's down in the right corner because it's like in the playlist. There you go. Open it all the way up. There we go. There's the foot. See, I was worried about the chain. Like, are you going to stretch out the chain? Do I stretch out chains? All right, this is GP Llama's video. No one's watching, or nobody's listening to us talk about a video that you're scanning through. So he's taking his bars off because the bars are adjustable in the thing. And he wanted more comfortable bars. So these are like elongated Zwift plays. I think you might be still muted.
They are only USB-C ports. That's what they are for charging the Zwift plays.
Oh, that's it. So they're wireless.
Yeah.
So the same thing. See, the steering bar is super long. And then where's the shifting bar? Where's the shifting? Does he talk about the shifting? Where are the shifting buttons?
I think it's that little orange button on the bottom. I think it's, I could be wrong, but I think that's
drops. All right, we're scrolling through. Hey, everybody, this is exciting. We're scrolling through the timeline of the video. He's upgrading the handlebar. Just go to shifting. Do they have a shifting thing?
There they are right there.
Those two buttons are the shifting buttons?
Kind of like Shimano Di2.
Okay.
I would assume this is the braking button.
That's what the
This
Zwift
is
Play
your
needs to be. So you can take the bars off and put you. It's like they're regular. What is it? Shifters. The regular shifters with the sort of clamp attachment to hook up onto a bar. So you can remove remove your the bar and then slide these off, slide them onto new bars, which is what he's done in this video. And they're wireless, so theoretically I would buy this and just use my bike. Oh, but then you can't shift the chair. You can't shift. These aren't you're locked in on you're locked in on virtual shifting on Zwift.
Well, and I
they
think
open it up.
My original thing was I was talking about building my own virtual shifting bike, but Zwift has made this so cheap. It'd be cheaper just to buy the Zwift Ride than it would be to make your own bike.
It's already been R&D'd and, sort of, you don't have to worry about a front wheel. You can just use this thing. It's close. It's close. We want it all, but we don't want it all. All right. Go, Brian, and then we're going to take some questions and get out of here.
I'll just say the Aero handlebars like that, those flat, so much more comfortable than round handlebars, in my opinion. I love the Aero handlebars.
I have regular round handlebars.
They, my trainer bike, I got a $50 pair of carbon Aero bars off Amazon. So much more comfortable. So I agree with GP Llama changing his handlebars out.
As we go to silence and we just stare at the photo or stare at the paused video. All right.
Because you're not going to have like carbon bars. You're not going to have them rust.
Do whatever you want.
Apart.
I would buy if I could. No, it's not possible. I don't want to be taking off my bars and taking off my shifters just to use Zwift.
Yeah.
Even though these are like.
This is a full commitment to Zwift as of it stands right now, and that holds me back from buying it because
that's why the Zwift Plays were way easier to just put on top of my existing shifters.
Yeah,
that's why I did it, because it's better than putting it behind the everyone's like, oh, you put it right here. I'm like, I can't use these things, so that's why I put the double stick Velcro and put them on the front of my shifters.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if people started doing that, they're like, oh.
I got mine down on the drops, but they kept moving around, so I had to take bar tape and wrap around my bars, and then put the plays on it.
Yeah, mine don't move because of the Velcro.
Yeah,
I even did my race outdoor 2 weeks ago. I was racing. I ride around regular with the little Velcro, sort of the grippy Velcro on front of my shifter. It helps me with braking, like because I can grab the shifters more. Like if my hands are sweaty.
Yeah. So I know we're talking about Zwift. Something we glossed over was the grade. What do you guys think about it? Have you guys heard it?
No,
it deserves to be glossed over because it's whatever.
Oh, yeah.
This leads into item number 4. It's officially summertime here.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's one of the
so as much as the grade got released, it's 37 degrees in my garage. I am not riding indoor right now.
It's 42 in mine.
Oh, that's actually, it's funny. I was talking about you, Brian, on another stream because like you're the only person where you're like, it's 47 degrees in my shed and I'm going to still ride. Yeah, and no one else can survive that.
Yeah. It's been 42, 43 degrees in my garage. Celsius, everybody, Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius. The grade, I like not the grade itself, but that side road, whatever we're going to call it, the jungle side bypass thing, whatever the heck that thing is, it goes over to the other town. I like that.
The waffle shop.
Yeah, it's actually got a couple nice little climbs in it, and it gives you nice routes to roam around. And of course, you can climb up to the top of Epic. But The grade itself looks nice, but like I'm not that intrigued about it. I really don't care per se, but it's a good addition. It opens up the Watopia map some more.
Did they innovate FTP testing?
I mean, now I think they're going to get people. Hey, I'm riding. Oh, I'm going to go do this and do an effort. I don't think that. I don't know. I don't know if more people are going to do FTP tests, like go intentionally do it, or just ride and just go to do it. You know what I mean? But I think because it's always available, people might be like, "Oh, I'm going to go do this now," instead of like, "Oh, I got to go do a warm up, do a 5-minute thing," and then now they're going to do it in game. They might get more people to do it, but as far as having the FTP test on the road, I think it's kind of gimmicky, to be honest with you. Because if you want to do an FTP test, you're going to go click in the workout and do the FTP test. So that's just kind of my point of view, but I'm all for new roads in Watopia.
Midway point. It sounds like it's pretty slow.
Yeah.
Are we getting more bang for our buck for the added price increase?
Yeah, the Zwift Ride. That
that's extra cost. That's an extra cost.
Yeah. I don't know. I do. I mean, I like that they're working
It's
on
more
Watopia.
roads.
And hopefully we keep
It's more
expanding
roads for you
Watopia.
guys. You guys both wanted more roads. It's more roads. There you go.
Yeah, like I was looking at MyWhoosh. It is insane how big some of these worlds are without doubling over each other, without doing figure eights. It's insane. It'll take.
MyWhoosh is pretty big. It's pretty
I forget
grand.
which course it was today, but there was like, it was enormous. There was like at a 40-kilometer route here, and then on the total other side, another 30-kilometer route, and they weren't even close to touching each other. So there's 70 kilometers that wouldn't even matter. You don't even touch it, and you have unknown amount in between it. And that's something about MyWhoosh. It's very hard to find information about. It's the biggest source of information for me is the Facebook group.
That's usually the case. That's the same with RGT. RGT was like that.
Yeah.
There's no like Zwift Insider. There's no MyWhoosh. There might be, but we don't know where it is, and we don't go to it. But Facebook is still a place to go. There's some on the Discord, but not so much.
Yeah.
Same with IndieVelo. IndieVelo doesn't really have a Facebook. They have more of a Discord.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Villager is saying the grade implies passing or failing, not a cool way to create an environment. I guess I didn't look at it that way, as like passing or failing.
Well, because when you go onto the grade, the moment you turn onto the grade, it's going, "You're doing an FTP test. Here you go."
Okay.
And there should almost be a way that when you first turn onto the grade, it says, "Do you want to do a test?" And you can click no and then turn it off. What happens is if you're just trying to ride the grade as a normal ride, it's thinking you're trying to do an FTP test, and you're like, "No, man, I'm just chilling here."
It's like going up the Alp, and it has the Alp always has the segments unless you turn the HUD off. Like it's always showing you your average heart rate and your average time or whatever, average power for every segment up. Like if you just want to ride up the Alp to Zwift, you can't turn that stuff off unless you turn everything off.
Yeah. I agree, Frack. Yes, that's how I was taking it, as the grade, but like I don't look at it as every time I go to it. I didn't think of it as that way. As every time I go on this, I have to do the FTP test. But yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You have to, right?
Yeah,
you have to challenge yourself every single time. All right. Well, I haven't done the grade. I'm probably never going to do the grade. Maybe say never. Somebody will probably tell me to go up it, and I'll probably do it. But
you'll do it by accident one day, because that goddamn roundabout at the bottom is so. At least the times I've been riding it and trying to steer out of it, I've messed up and went back up it 3 times now. So.
But you're thinking I'm going to actually go to that one spot where the grade starts. Like I don't even ride to that.
You'll get there by accident somehow, doing your menu streaming, and then you're going to go up the grade. It's going to happen.
If there's a race on the course, I'll probably do it.
You have to do it now. Dr. Weebles just told you to do it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay. You have to do it now.
Hey, I listen to everything he says. Any
The
more
Weeble.
questions or comments? 'Cause then we can get out of here. I got to go to Costco.
Oh, what about walking the dog? We got to walk the dog.
Oh no, dog, it's too hot. We've been hanging out as I is like, it's like 1,000 degrees where I live right now.
Yeah, it's super hot here. We've had the past week in the 90s, and I'm like, just real quick side note, my upstairs, the 76 degrees, air conditioner running full bore. Down here in the basement's like 60. I'm like, why is the upstairs so hot?
It's 40
So I go
degrees Celsius
upstairs.
here in Turlock.
I go upstairs in the attic, and
Sorry.
the exhaust fan had quit working. So I tore it out and put up a new one. In about 30 minutes time, I think I lost 12 pounds of sweat. I couldn't even imagine how hot it was in the attic. So I had to rewire the fan, cut a bigger hole in the in the wall. It really sucked when it was 95 out. Uh-oh.
What are you? What is
Oh,
it?
the Canadian Tire bucks.
It won't focus.
Oh,
I actually did go to
Canadian
Canadian Tire this
it's
week, and I
40
did buy
degrees
something.
Celsius where I live right now. 40 degrees Celsius.
40.
40.
Holy crap.
40 degrees Celsius,
We had a cooler day today.
which is essentially 105 for the Fahrenheit folks.
Yeah.
105. This is Central California.
It's a decent 20 here, which is nice. I'd say the weather is pleasant. I would love it if it just stayed 20 all year round.
Oh, it's going to be 108. This is on July 2nd, 108 degrees. Wednesday, 106. 4th of July in the United States is supposedly 103.
Insane. That's too hot.
It sounds about right.
It's too hot.
It sounds about right. Okay. Anybody else want to say something? Because I think we're good here. Yeah, we covered the most stuff. IndieVelo doesn't really have. I think there's people planning to do larger events, which is good. We didn't even talk about the Zwift World Series, which was announced.
What is that? I missed that.
Sent that. Go to the Discord and you can see the thing. They sent I think it starts in September, but it's the new sort of their Zwift games. And it's going to be, I don't really look at it very much, but you can look it up. Zwift. Maybe they didn't announce it to everyone, but they sent it to all the competitors that were in the Zwift games. Where is it? Let me see here.
Yeah, you must be breaking information because even Googling didn't get anything. I didn't see it in Discord.
Elite Racing Series. That's it.
Unless.
Yeah. Elite Community Racing Season. There you go. We are delighted to announce the high-level season structure for the Elite Community Racing on Zwift.
Oh, okay. I did open that. And
Highly confidential. Oops.
Yeah. So
my apologies.
Just about to hit share, and I won't do that.
Don't share it. Don't share it.
I was just about to share it.
I opened that.
And
I thought that was for the Zwift Games rule set that we were talking about earlier in the chat. So,
all right, I'm gonna get NDA'd now. All right, cut the stream. My apologies.
That's so funny.
Well,
we have breaking news, but we can't share it.
Breaking news. Yeah, I gotta go write them and say I apologize for this show. Now I'm all anxious.
Oh.
Annulled.
It was too small in the print.
Yeah, it's absolutely like minuscule.
So small. All right. Yeah. All right, that's the end of the show.
You figured that'd be up underneath.
I'm gonna email and say I mentioned it on my show, so whatever.
It should have been like we didn't actually show any.
We didn't say anything. I apologize. So
yeah,
there's things in the works. I don't know why they sent it to me. I'm a competitor. Why would they send it to me? Whatever.
They appreciate what you do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Maybe they wanted us to leave
Brian.
it.
Say goodbye. It's time to go. I'm going to be contacted by lawyers now. We didn't share it. We just said whatever.
Actually, we do have a question from the audience.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can BK prove there are actual lenses in those frames?
My glasses frames? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Here.
Just thought maybe you were wearing them for
For sure.
There. I'm setting a piece of Lego on top of it, as you can see there. See?
Oh,
It was super small. It
really is.
It's really at the bottom. It's like really small. I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is cool. And I'm not on anything else. And I just got emailed it. So my apologies. I apologize. We're going to go. If I get in trouble, I'll talk to them on the off the air. So you're muted.
I know I was muted on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Right.
We're going to end on that note. I'm out of here. I'm in trouble now. So
go enjoy your 40-degree weather.
Yeah, 40. I got to go to Costco. All right.
Thanks,
Breaking
guys.
news. Later.
See you, everyone.
See you. Bye, everybody. Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't send. Let me talk to them on the back end. There you go. All right. Now, goodbye.